Hi guys, and welcome to a new episode of Brave Dog Training Online YouTube. I'm Anita, I'm a professional dog trainer, and today we're gonna talk about puppies, my 5 tips for all new puppy owners. So stay tuned and have fun. Alright, so let's dive into this. I guarantee you that every new puppy owner can use these tips. Of course, they are something that differs for everybody a little bit, but only in the details. So essentially, it's the same for every dog. Okay, so let's start. First one, don't walk your puppy. A puppy does not need a walk. And we're talking about dogs until, let's say, around the 20th week. So 5 months. Of course, smaller breeds develop faster than larger breeds and stuff like that, and it's different for every dog. But a puppy, so a baby dog, does not need walks. It's really that simple. So, of course, your dog has to experience new things and explore and all those great things, but not on a walk. You just have to carry him or drive him somewhere you want him to explore and then let him explore. Of course, safety first, leash and harness and stuff like that, so your puppy cannot run off into traffic or something like that. But you can let him sniff around and have fun and just check out everything that's interesting. Of course, nothing he can eat and stuff like that, but yes. For example, you can drive your puppy to a deserted parking lot of a supermarket on a Sunday, or depending on your area, of course, but when there aren't a gazillion people around. So your puppy has all the time in the world to just sniff around and get used to all the smells of people and maybe even see some people. But they don't matter really, because he can just look at them, but they don't want anything from him. And you don't want anything from him. You help him if help is needed, but otherwise he can just explore on his own. Already the second tip, get your puppy used to everything you will need later in life. So everything that is in your daily life, in your routine, should become something normal for your puppy. So if you drive to work with the train every day and you want your puppy to go with you when he's older or even as a puppy, then of course your puppy has to learn how to ride on a train. Or if you work with horses, for example, then your puppy should get used to horses. Or if you have cats, then of course your puppy should get used to cats. And all the things that are just normal, like different grounds, different pavements, different natural grounds. Like you can, if you have a yard or a garden, you can install a puppy playground. And no, that's no agility course. It's a playground where your puppy can develop his coordination skills and he can move his body and get used to all these things and train his muscles, and so he develops great. And you can do that with old tires, for example. Old tires are free. You can get them over, I don't know, eBay or whatever, and you can just place them somewhere in a little parkour and you let your puppy explore again. Of course, you don't put him somewhere, you don't put him on a tire, don't put him in a tire. You just let him explore, and maybe he can find some treats there and all those things. You can let him walk wooden planks, you can let him climb up a stair or two, just so he gets used to the movement. And of course, sometimes we need to get our puppies used to pavement and grass and wooden areas and stuff like that, so our puppies are comfortable when they get older to walk on those grounds. And to make this a lot easier, especially for you, then you can write yourself a list of everything that you have in your day-to-day life and you want your puppy to get used to. You can also write down every sound you have in your routines, like TV or a microwave oven or the vacuum or whatever it is for you. Of course, your puppy should get used to those sounds as well. And that's actually a lot to do. So it's important not to overwhelm your dog. For everything your puppy learns that's new and explores, he needs a lot of sleep just to process that. And that's why you can't do too much at once. Just little things you can do daily, and bigger things maybe once a week or every 2 weeks, depending on your puppy and his character and how fast he gets used to those things. So always keep in mind your puppy is an individual, and yes, he needs his own pace. That brings us to point number 3. If you want to get your dog used to everything in your environment, of course, that also counts for other dogs. And yes, a puppy should have contact with other dogs. Puppies to play with, adult dogs to learn from and play with maybe, but you have to pick very, very, very carefully which dogs you introduce to your puppy. So the contact should always be very high quality. The play has to be a really good play, and the adult dogs, if you want to meet adult dogs, have to be very friendly with puppies. And yes, many adult dogs get annoyed by puppies, so be careful to choose. And if you want to attend puppy play groups, take a very close look at how they are managed. So, is the trainer really educated? And does he have a very good eye for play situations? And does he split if the play gets a little out of hand? Does he allow the owners to help their puppies when they are afraid a little bit? That's very important. So you have to choose carefully. And what I do with my clients is we find another puppy, and then we meet with 2 dogs and just let them interact with each other, and also always teach the puppies to get back to the owner regularly and to check in and to interact with the owner as well, so that the other dog is not so extremely important and the only thing in the world for the puppy. The owner should be. So you should be the most important thing in the world for your puppy. And of course you can achieve that with doing great stuff with your puppy and fun things and all those great trainings and whatever. So that's important. And training brings us to point number 4. No manipulating your puppy. It's very often advised that you should just put the harness on and put the collar on and put the leash on and just drag the puppy, and I don't know. That's actually not very nice. And yes, you can get your puppy used to things like touching and things like that, but getting a dog used to something is a lot harder than getting your dog to like things. So, because then you can work with reinforcers and stuff like that. So if you're unsure, get a trainer to help you with that. Write me an email. I can maybe help you with that too. So that's important. And for harness and collar, always teach your puppy to put them on voluntarily. I worked with a dog who very likely had a bad experience with a collar in her first weeks. A collar for her means immediate death. She is actually really scared to death whenever something is around her neck. And it's been 3 years, nothing happened to her, nobody put something around her neck, nobody dragged something, nothing. And she's still scared to death of it. Those very soon experiences burn into the brain so fast. So, of course, we want them to be positive, especially with something that happens to our puppy every single day, multiple times, perhaps. And that counts for putting a harness on or putting a muzzle on. It's the same thing. It should always be trained to be voluntary. So your puppy learns, hey, I put my head into the harness and then something great happens, and then those clips close and then something great happens and stuff like that. So if you need help training that, of course, again, write me an email and I will help you with that. Or get a trainer who will work with positive reinforcement and show you how it's done properly. All right. Of course, that also counts for every husbandry thing and every vet check and something like that. If you talk to your vet, you can surely bring your pup by and just let him get a treat and have nice experiences in your vet's office. And for everything husbandry, you can train a cooperation signal for your puppy, so your puppy knows that when it's too much for him, he can stop it. And of course, announce everything you do. So don't scare your puppy with, I don't know, razor or something like that, or loud noises. Just tell your puppy what you're going to do. And if your puppy is not comfortable with that, he can break the cooperation signal and you stop. And of course, train again to get your puppy comfortable with that. But that's very important, so your puppy does trust you and your puppy always feels safe and secure. And that brings us to point number 5. Do not leave your puppy alone. Yes, of course, your puppy has to learn how to be alone, how to comfortably be alone, but that doesn't happen when you just leave him alone. It's not natural. It's very dangerous for a puppy to be alone, and therefore that's not a good idea. Of course, if you want to start training, you can start implementing a safe zone or a relaxation zone, and yes, that can be a crate, but not closed. If you want your puppy to feel safe and secure, your puppy will sleep in your room or in your bed. Of course, you can have a crate there, but it stays open, so your puppy doesn't feel frightened. He just can come out whenever he feels like it. And that safe zone is very easily implemented. You just give your puppy something to chew or something to lick in that safe zone, and your puppy will learn how to love it in no time. It's very fast, it's very easy, and it takes no effort at all to train that. So yes, you can start with that, and later you will implement a time where you're not available for your puppy but still here, and then you can start leaving him alone. But that's a process, and if you skip steps in the process, your dog can really develop an issue with separation anxiety, and you don't want that. So be very careful with training your puppy to stay home alone. And again, if you have any questions about that, let me know. I'll be so happy to help you with that. And if you have a new puppy and you need help with your puppy in general, of course you can write me an email as well. If you like this video, click the thumbs up, and of course subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I would love to hear from you. I wish you a very, very amazing time with your puppy. It's over very fast and it's such a great time. Take a million pictures because you will love to look at them later. I guarantee you that. So have a wonderful time. We'll see each other on Saturday for Women Power, and of course for the next dog training video next week. Have a great week. Bye.